Imagine yourself suspended 400 feet in the air, high above the Delaware River, with traffic speeding below you. One mistake can lead to a potentially fatal fall. It's the job of industrial bridge painters to restore the bridges in the U.S. While their work isn't pretty, it's crucial to the safety of drivers who cross these bridges every day. The bridge crew's days are defined by risk and danger.
There's nothing I like more than going past a bridge and being able to show my kids I was part of painting that bridge. 1 out of 100 guys can do it.
Drivers who cross these bridges every day most likely take for granted the grueling work it takes to keep bridges standing. Yet the public relies on the crew to preserve these structures for future generations. And in order to make it home safe each day, the crew has to rely on each other.
If you're not cutting yourself or bruising yourself every day, then you're not doing something right.
Highly skilled teams of industrial painters combat rust and other structural threats to these bridges in order to repaint and restore the integrity of the bridge.
There's nothing cosmetic about it. This is about protecting the structure. This is all about corrosion control. Once there's enough corrosion, the steel fails and eventually they would fall down.
Bridge restoration is a major undertaking that can take years to complete. The work is physically and emotionally demanding for the crews that work 6 to 7 days a week, 12 to 15 hours per day.
Everybody thinks they have the worst job, and I think I have the worst job.
Now, I'm proud of what I do, because I love what I do, so it makes it a lot easier that I love it.
Mostly we like to say everyone who works on a bridge has to be a little bit crazy, though.
These crews, members of the International Union of Painters and Allied Trades, often exhibit grit and a wild sense of humor. As they preserve America's bridges, they also battle Mother Nature and each other, racing against the clock to get work done under the exacting eye of their foremen and company bosses.
Everybody up there until we finish.
You're not with your mother anymore. This is your new family, that's it.
They may not be related by blood, but they are brothers nonetheless. Bridge brothers.
The Bridge Brothers.
Bridge brothers.
Yeah.
Philadelphia, nicknamed the City of Brotherly Love. It's the 5th most populated city in the United States. In the greater Philadelphia area, bridges are vital to keeping transportation on the move. The Delaware River Port Authority serves as steward of 4 bridges that cross the Delaware River between Pennsylvania and New Jersey. In one year, the Benjamin Franklin, Betsy Ross, Commodore Barry, and the Walt Whitman carried nearly 100 million vehicles across their bridges.
The way we look at these bridges is, they have to last forever, right? And that's how we treat them. So in order to do that, you have to continually maintain, upgrade, and improve these facilities. I think it's important to understand that it takes a significant amount of time, effort, and dollars to keep these assets in a state of good repair. One of the things we hear is we're always disrupting traffic, or there's always a project going on one of the bridges.
I've been on highways where we cause traffic jams and people throw stuff at us, and we had to fix the bridge.
Imagine if that bridge deteriorated to the point where it fell and then there was no bridge and they had to go another 5-6 miles upstream to cross over. Spend a day in my shoes or something like that. If they could see what we go through to keep that bridge intact so that they could travel across it.
Think about it because you see it all the time and it doesn't faze you, but yeah,
And all it takes is for somebody to look down at their phone or hear a little bit because of something, and yeah, that's. Sometimes people ask me, what are you afraid of more? I said, I'm afraid of more of on the traffic on the roadway than being up on top of that tower. And that's not a joke.
Keeping these bridges in tip-top shape is crucial to the drivers and commercial industry across the region. But it's no surprise that over time, the impact of vehicular traffic and weather can degrade the integrity of the infrastructure.
The application of de-icing chemicals, exposure to sunlight, the exposure to rain, snow, sleet, all those causes the paint to fail. And once the paint system fails, the corrosion starts. We paint the bridge not to make them look good. Our intention is the corrosion protection of the bridge. That's the main intention. And at the same time, our bridges are coated with lead-based paint. Our objective is to remove the lead from the bridge. So by blast cleaning and painting with high-performance coating system, we can extend the life of the bridge.
Opened in 1974 to accommodate traffic between Pennsylvania and New Jersey, the Commodore Barry Bridge is the longest cantilever bridge in the U.S. and the fourth longest in the world. A cantilever-style construction consists of two arms of the bridge which join together in the center, suspending over the river. These two arms are supported by foundation piers on either end. Another arm on each end extends to connect the highway to the land.
Everybody asking, what are you guys doing over here in the bridge? What are you guys doing? Painting.
They think we're changing the color. As if they were painting their living room, we're painting the bridge. I gotta be honest with you, I think it's probably the toughest job that anybody could possibly do as far as I'm concerned. Guys die all the time doing this work. And we work at heights all the time. Everything we do from, the minute we get up onto the steel, pulling our first cables across, setting up our safety cables. You put your life on the line just about every day that you go in there. When you go up there and you don't think about it because you look up and you see the bridge, but when you're actually up there and you're looking down, you're like, man, that's far. You got to be careful 24/7 when you're up there.
Some guys don't even make it on the bridge. Like, they think they know what it is, and then they realize they can't deal with the heights. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, he's scary. When you are afraid of heights, you see guys holding on for their dear life.
I go home, I don't even tell my wife really what happens over here. It's miserable, and you don't want to go complain to everybody.
Kidding me? You know how many people we got on this job that came, worked 3 days, and just said, fuck it?
When I first started, my first day on the job as a first-year apprentice, my fall protection class was, don't fall.
You gotta keep reminding yourself, even though you're 4 feet up on the ground, if you fall the wrong way, you could break an ankle. And if you're 80 feet in the air, if you fall, then lights are out, and you die. So, and I have friends already that passed away or died doing this business. So it's dangerous up there.
I've seen people fall into the water and never to be seen again. I've seen a guy fall from like an army base, hit everything on the way down, and the army just dragged him out and pooled blood. And I actually, nobody else could. I walked through the blood, climbed to the top, and finished spraying for him. And you could see where he fell, the paint, like he was still holding on to the gun. You could see the line. It's a little bit weird.
While advances in technology have improved safety, the crew must still rely on each other through an old-fashioned work ethic. Because if you don't do your part, you put other crew members' lives at risk.
Another aspect of it is the aspect of you have 30 or 40 or 50 guys and they're all doing different tasks. Now you might work off of something that somebody else rigged up. That's another danger of the job.
In 1981, the Commodore Barry Bridge was repainted, and then in 1996, a bridge crew fixed select areas that showed corrosion. Now the entire bridge will be completely sandblasted and repainted in a multi-phase project to make sure the bridge will remain standing long into the future.
Painting a bridge is the smallest part of the job. It's getting to where we have to paint. That is the hard part.
Before any restoration work can start, the crew must attach outriggers which serve as a framework to attach steel cables. These outriggers and steel cables will support the weight of the platforms from which the crew will work. On the Commodore Barry Bridge alone, the crew will install 18,000 feet of steel cables and hundreds of outriggers. One of the bridge painters tasked with this work is Pete.
You have to be focused, one thing's for sure, you have to be focused. Because, you know, there's no room for accidents. One accident, it can cause, like, your life or maybe, like, somebody else's life.
Pete has mounted a camera onto his helmet in order to show us what it's like to install outriggers below the roadway on the bridge.
Step first, avoid the big-ass gigantic spider. Step 2, get your ass down there somehow. All right. Okay. All right. Jiggity, jiggity, jiggity. Scaffold time. And da-da-da. Gotta get this shit out. These motherfuckers, man, they're tighter like there's no tomorrow. How you doing, Sid? It's down there? Yeah. Look at this Home Home Depot bucket. It looks like tiny, huh?
I don't know which one is first, hitting the water or hitting the rocks.
I don't think it makes a difference from this height. All right, time to get the fuck out of here.
Following the installation of the outriggers and steel cables, the crew installs chain link fencing, which will serve as one of many platforms from where the crew will work. The chain link fence is tied down to prevent it from moving. The Walt Whitman Bridge opened to traffic in 1957. It provides a roadway between South Philadelphia and Camden, New Jersey. Built as a suspension bridge, the roadway deck is hung from vertical suspension cables along both sides that connect to two larger horizontal cables that run from one end of the bridge to the other. Two massive towers provide the arc to the cables that support the weight of the structure. Bridge painting crews are tasked with repainting the steel beams, suspension cables, and the tower's interior. Thousands of steel decking sheets are lowered underneath the bridge. Once the metal decking is installed, it will provide a platform from which the crew will battle corrosion and paint the bridge. A team of riggers carefully place the metal sheets like puzzle pieces on top of the steel support cables. One wrong step can lead to a dangerous fall. All you have is a safety harness to grab you in midair. One of the riggers installing deck sheets is Damon. Damon has worked as an industrial bridge painter since high school.
Everything's brand new. The deck's brand new, so it's very easy to put up. The cables are where they're supposed to be, and just like a big puzzle, just throw the sheets down, stack them, so one after the next.
Everybody's rushing, you know, it's in a competition. Everybody wants to do good, everybody wants to show off and show out, and, you know, shit, you know, that's my first reaction. I should have seen the beam. I just stepped up too quick. Gave me a nice shiny eye.
06, baby.
So I was one of the ones got caught out there. That's why they still call me whippersnapper. I'm still learning.
I almost lost my finger. That was a minor accident compared to what happens out here. A lot of guys, if you're not lacerating yourself or breaking a bone or something, I've seen it all. I've seen some people fall. I fell.
It's a balance of both. You have to try to get things done fast, but you got to go home at the end of the day too.
We started at 6. We worked sun up from sundown today. So we used every bit of daylight that we could use. And it actually went pretty good, you know. We got everything we wanted to do, and boss was happy, so everybody else is happy.
I don't think there's anybody that wakes up in the morning and says, I want to be a bridge painter.
As the sun rises and commuters head to work, the crew at Commodore Barry are already busy on the job.
No. They stretched their hoses. They ran out of hose.
Tom oversees the Commodore Barry Bridge project. As superintendent, his job is to make sure everyone stays on task and on schedule. We gave Tom his own camera to document life on the bridge.
What do you call it? Look at the fog lifting up and shit there.
I'm here at 3:30, and I leave at 7, 8 o'clock every day. I'm with these guys 11 months a year.
Good morning, sir. How are you today? I am very good. How are you, sir? I give you, okay? Put him in there.
And the workers, I got to deal with their personalities and their other personality when they have problems at home. Another person shows up at work, so I got to deal with that too. So I'm not just their boss. I'm their psychiatrist. I'm their marriage counselor. I'm a lot of things.
He's actually has done the job himself. He knows what to do. So he's pretty good. So he makes me mad though once in a while. Just, you know, because he's a little cocky, I guess.
Are you ready to go to work, Mikey?
Yeah, very hard work today, Sunday.
No, be serious. Be serious. I want you to walk tall. What? Why you stop now? Now we can actually see who it is.
The only moves I know.
Now we can actually see who the fuck it is.
Always try to get a laugh out of something. I mean, no matter what the situation is. I think laughter brings the best out of everybody. So I just act goofy all the time.
When I first started, they used to call me Slash because I had the curly hair and you could never see my eyes.
How you doing this fine morning, Grumpy? This is our fearless shop steward, Ralph.
They've called me... Shit, I got so many.
Go, everybody up there until we finish.
Meathead. What's up, Pinocchio? For obvious reasons.
Does it bother you at all?
No, I'm the one that starts with nicknames because I forget their names. As soon as somebody shows up, I'm like, what are we going to call this guy? Everybody's got a name. Even if I use his real name, I'll change it a little bit. Just, you got to have a nickname. You can't use what your mother gave you. You're not with your mother anymore. This is your new family, that's it.
That's the crew from hell. So you guys are taking your lunch with you, huh?
You have to be a little bit twisted to do this job. Yeah, people say that we're not right.
if you start working on this business, you gotta just walk fast, look nervous, because it's a fast-paced job. You know, you always gotta be moving. So you show that you care, show that you want to learn, because that's the only way. If not, there's another guy next to you that's a little hungrier than you are. He could take your spot. So you just work hard.
Andre is a foreman who oversees a team of bridge painters. His son Evan has also joined the crew.
It's a small world. You can work from Louisiana to Canada, and you still bump like the same people that you worked 5 years ago or 3 years ago. So yeah, some of them we get along, some of them we don't. We all know have a reason to be here. It's not like to have a good time. We know that. We're here like to work.
There's a lot of languages. Some guys don't speak English. Some guys don't speak Spanish. They learn my language. I learn their language. So we help each other.
I'm from Jamaica. Came here in 1988.
Brazil.
Mexico.
I was born in Honduras. I came here 1990.
Everybody called me cowboy. In the beginning, I come over here for bull rider. I start bull rider over here. And then I hurt my arm, I hurt my back, my legs, everything. And the guy say, oh, this means make money.
I started doing it when I was 17 years old. So that's 19 years ago. I did it for the first 5 years, then I didn't like it. I tried to do something else, for a couple of years, but then came back to the bridges. I couldn't keep away from them.
This will be my 14th year.
Almost 20 years now. It's the only job I've ever had.
I had 2 off years. I tried something different with my life, and I always came back.
I'm pretty much used to it. I've grown up in construction, so I've been around this kind of situation my whole life. I'm almost 30 years old. I'm married with 1 kid. They're trying to get more women involved in it, but right now it's definitely still male-dominated.
This started as a summer job, and the money was good, and I knew what I was doing. So I just stuck with this business for over 20 years, and I love it.
I love what I do, to be honest with you. I've been doing this for 14, 15 years already, so at this point I don't see me doing anything else.
I got 1 bad knee from it. I got carpal tunnel in both hands. I just did my back about two years ago. I hurt my back bad, and it's just what the job does. Hopefully I can get another 10 or 15 years, and I'll be happy.
I look at everybody here like an older brother. They got a lot of years and experience of me. I'm in almost 4 years now. So I'll be journeyman within a couple months.
Across North America, there's about 25,000 bridge painters. I'd say the whole universe of the non-union is probably less than that. There's not a lot of people that can or are willing to do this work.
Belarus! Ready for tarps tomorrow? Did they bring any down? They don't bring no tarps down. Right.
We bring out small piece on the sheets, and I don't know, guys.
I'll go see them. Thank you, Mike.
I'm just working on my staff, but I'm happy to tally.
Who's winning? Ooh, that's how many days I've been sad? Or is that every time you see me that I'm sad?
It depends on the moment.
Like, does it happen twice a day?
It'll happen 3 times sometimes. 519 or 625. Basically, every time you get off the phone with Mateo. EIPF.
So I wasn't happy at all today? You didn't put a happy face today?
No, not today yet.
Today was the best day of my life. I've been so happy today, you can't even imagine.
I just want tarps up. I just want to see tarps going up. It's eating me. Because we're losing good days right now with no wind. Then we're going to be fighting the tarp to pull it up and put everybody's life in danger, which there's no smiles on that one. That's serious shit.
Several weeks before, high winds cut through the area, causing rough weather on the bridge. Tom must constantly monitor wind speeds. The tarps act like giant sails catching the wind. If the wind pushes against the tarps with enough force, it will damage the bridge superstructure. The crew must wrap and seal the bridge from the outside in order to protect the environment from lead-based paint when it is removed from the steel structure. To do this, the bridge painters will install massive tarps in order to create an area known as the containment. That's the place where all of the action takes place, with high-impact sandblasting. The containment is required by federal law.
You gotta have people up there watching each other.
DC 7-Eleven, baby, the best.
No, just tell the guys like space it out a little bit, you know, don't drop it down. Without the crabs, huh?
Little late. I'll say it again. All right, pull that piece.
Good to go. Pull it up. Pull it up.
The crew needs to create a framework of tarps that are lifted in place with ropes and pulleys. Their work is not complete until the containment area is enveloped and tarps cover the sides of the bridge.
There's no slack in it.
You get a gust of wind, it can pull your hands out of your sockets if you hold on to it. Your foot can be wrapped in the rope, or if you step in a coil of rope, it'll yank your leg out of the way. If one of these ropes is behind your back and you get that gust of wind and the guy next to you can't hold it, that rope is gonna pinch you in the back, maybe throw you. A lot of things can go wrong. So you gotta watch each other, you gotta watch yourself.
I got buckets down there already, sent like 4 buckets down. Let's walk in the platform, get every piece you found. The little shackles, I need it for tomorrow, please. I told you, you guys finish, we go home. Shit, you see how fast go?
It's break after break after break.
So now I gotta go home because I told them, you know, they said you guys finish, we go home. So they're flying through.
Yeah. We on the Commodore. Day's over. Good day today.
Yeah, it's Sunday, right? Everybody wants to go home.
Get some time to catch up with your body, you know?
Respect with the wife.
Yeah. Let's go home so we can beat the shot. Start all over again.
See you guys tomorrow. All right. Yeah, the day when we took all the stuff to the other side, it was too windy. All the top was all messed up. This side was everything easier. So everything come up easy. So that's the way we went to really quick. So now I got a...
Full tarps on 4 spans.
Yeah. So very quick. So that's good. Easy day, go home, done.
I think everything's going to be all right. We got the wind gods with us today, so we'll be all right. This is happy time.
Now that the crew has set up the containment, the blasters suit up for battle. Blasters are tasked with the most crucial job on the bridge, removing all existing paint and rust from the steel, leaving behind only a clean nickel finish. They're decked out in protective clothing, heavy gloves, and air-fed helmets.
All the action's in the sandblast.
We're shooting for a section and a half, 2 sections a day, blast and paint.
We're sandblasting, taking off all the old coatings, all the rusted members that have deteriorated.
You get about 150, 160 PSI coming out of the nozzle to get rid of the old paint. By the time they get done, before they paint, it's like brand new steel.
It's hard. It's very hard to blast.
It's all about production. You're constantly being pushed, you know, got to get it done, got to get it done.
A lot of pressure on us. If we don't produce, the boss has actually came out and said, we're going to lay you all off if you don't cut more steel. The main thing, the pressure to produce and make money for the company. This is where all their money's at, it's in the sandblast.
The blasting nozzles spray Air Force steel grit onto the bridge surface. These steel grit pieces rip off old coatings of lead paint and rust.
Grit is just steel, cut in little squares, triangles, and it just breaks up the paint and it goes in the profile of the steel, makes an anchor for the paint to anchor on. It's worth its weight in gold if you go blast and paint and keep recycling it.
The steel grit pieces and blasted off lead paint chips fall onto the containment floor, where crew members collect the debris using high-powered vacuums that are connected to a massive recycling machine outside of the containment. The machine pulls in the debris and separates the lead paint from the spent steel grit. The lead paint chips are collected and disposed of properly. The steel grit is recycled and sent back through the blaster's nozzles to remove more old paint coatings and rust. And the recycling process continues, from blaster to vacuumer to recycling machine and back. It's the job of the recycling machine operator to keep the air pressure moving through the blasting nozzles. If blasters experience issues with air pressure, they often blame the machine operator.
The better blasters, they want the right pressure so they can produce. You don't get the right amount of pressure, you're not going to produce. And so that's why some people complain so much. Something is not right down here. We're going to know it right away, and we're going to get in touch with our spotter, and he's going to relay the message to him. What's going on? How come we're not getting pressure? And the more the better, actually.
It's very frustrating. I'm about to lose my mind in there. There's no pressure. There's no sand. And it's just because we're so far out. It's very frustrating. It makes you want to just almost pack up and go home.
There is a lot of competition because it's a high-paid job that attracts a lot of people that want to get involved. Some people make it, some people don't.
We were told, like, when we get them, like apprentices or stuff like that, they tell us, put them through the ringer, let them vacuum, which is like one of the most
strenuous jobs we got. But that's how you know if you're gonna make it in this business or not.
I vacuum. I was vacuuming today. It sucks. It's good. It's good. It's a good, honest work. It's tough. It's hard.
You never want to finish after the next guy. It's like professional sports. You don't want to lose.
We complement each other, we push each other, we race each other.
No one's a rock star. It's just the guys, it's hard to find good blasters.
You can start now, go get the hose and go blast. You have to a couple years experience for your good blaster. Some guys try whole life and never be good.
You can't judge them by the cover. You see muscles in a half hour. Some of the guys that look like they're in the gym, in a half hour they're done. Then you see people, you're like, this guy's gonna die on me, just the way he walks, and he's one of your best workers. So you can't judge. You gotta try the people.
I can tell you the machoist guys that come onto the job are usually the first guys that are gone.
They're just using brute force. They're using their size to manipulate the hose and get the spray done. Those smaller guys, they have to use proper technique so that they don't get worn out.
And once you put that sandblast hood on and have the air running through it and you turn the hose on, you just hear that sand coming out. You do go into a certain mode, you know, and you start singing, and some people even talk to themselves.
You have all that pressure on that hose coming out, that's going to keep you awake. Even if you're trying to fall asleep, if you let that go, that nozzle is like a snake, it's going to bite you. So you know to stay awake.
After about 8 hours, that guy that's just yanking that hose around, he's getting worn out pretty quick. And those smaller guys that have to use the right technique, they can go for 12 or 14 hours and sometimes even more. And that's why you can't prejudge anybody.
You see this gentleman here? Yeah. Remember when I said you see people that they look like they're gonna die on you? That's who I was thinking of. Now imagine this guy being like your best painter. You're gonna see him, you're like, no way this guy can paint.
I always give them a chance. And not 1 hour, not 1 minute, not 1 day. I'll give you 2 or 3 chances. If you're lazy and I catch you doing lazy things, you're done right away.
You have to have a certain mental toughness to be able to get through, especially the nitty-gritty times. When you go on, like when you start to sandblast, you might have a 30-day run. And the boss will tell you, don't plan on missing any days for the next 30 days, unless it rains or something like that.
No more rain. Is the water coming through? You see what we're doing? We're putting a tarp all the way through so no water can get in from the ground, because the water's coming up. This is what's been happening. That's a lot of water. See, moisture will mess it up, our grit. There's the problem right there. That's what happens when grit gets wet. And this is what we're trying to avoid.
This is fucking ruined shot.
Yeah, it's done. It's done. It's done. The worst part is how we get it out of here.
Buckets and shovels?
It is so heavy, it's not even funny. What we're gonna do, we're gonna lay plywood, throw it on, and blow dry it. Literally blow dry it with heavy duty dryer. It's at least a couple thousand an hour we're losing right now.
It's very difficult. We're moving slow and just very frustrating.
This is what happens when you stay up all night drinking, Calvin.
You! That's my leg in this scale.
Come on, Robert.
I hope that shit burns.
No more Jack Daniels.
That's gonna burn so bad. Oh, it's nothing there. It's nothing. That's nothing. That's bullshit.
The new nickname is Rocky. Rocky Balboa.
We're sure it's gonna get infected. You're gonna have to cut the eyeball out. That's so not how it's supposed to be. You gotta put a patch.
Today we blasted and tomorrow we go back and do it all over again.
How's your pressure, cowboy? Good? How about you? How's your pressure? I can't even see you.
After a long and frustrating day of blasting, the crew decides to get together for a barbecue and blow off some steam.
When we all get together and have dinner, we look forward to it at work. We all at work, we're saying barbecue tonight, barbecue tonight. It gets everybody excited, brings everybody together, and gives us something to look forward to on an otherwise crappy night.
Cheers. You see that other crew, when they come out of that containment, they look like a reality show. You guys come out, everybody's whining like a bitch.
And no pressure, I didn't have no sand. My ear, my dick.
Bridge babies. Instead of Bridge Brothers, fucking Bridge babies.
What do they say when they collect?
You know, it's nice. I like the way Cowboy cooks on the grill.
Yeah, I love grill. All the time I have a opportunity, I grill.
The only problem with the barbecues is it's just meat. There's no other side. There's nothing but meat. And meat and salt, and then you're eating meat for 2-3 hours.
Steak, pork, and lamb. I love lamb.
It's actually gross. You feel bad afterwards, but it's so good you don't want to stop.
Go eat.
For sure, I'm going to get the meat sweats. I've been eating lamb meat for like 2 hours
Describe the
now.
meat sweats now.
The meat sweats, we sit down and we eat meat for like 2 hours straight, constantly, and all night I'm sweaty. All night. That's the meat sweats. And it happens every time we have a barbecue.
I have a great bunch of guys I stay with.
Good friends. I like those guys. Long time I work with these guys.
Are you guys all live together in this apartment for like a year?
Oh, it's disgusting. Oh, you know what? I first showed up there and there's beds every room. There's 2 beds in every corner of the living room. In the kitchen, you'd have to hop over a bed to get to the kitchen. I went nuts.
We all chip in. We cook. We keep a clean house.
We don't have any vacuum in here. We haven't cleaned. How long have we been here? Like 3 months?
It's pretty clean.
Oh, yeah, he's the one that he won't let us hire anybody to clean. If we all put in $20, $30, we'll get it cleaned. And he won't let us. Yeah, exactly. But I've been in apartments where it's just people destroy them. You know what I mean? Stuff comes up lost and for animals. So, but I got some good roommates right now.
Do you have a bed?
Nothing to clean. You wash your doing laundry or bed linens. Nothing to clean.
You want to see our room?
Yeah, fuck yeah, I want to see your room.
This is pretty sad. We got like 4 guys in there. Me, Rob, my roommate, Cowboy, and the Mateo, and then we got one boy in the living room. This is the vacuumer sleep down here. That's his first class accommodations. Gets drunk every night, falls asleep in his clothes from the night before, wakes up already dressed. This is my bed. I'm a little too close to Rob for my liking. And Rob, actually, for a roommate, he's probably the best roommate I've ever had. We got a nice TV. We got probably the best room in the house. Look at his closet. He hogs the closet. You know, he has all my nice clothes. I got like 3 shirts. Look at this shit. The ruffles. Crazy. It's all Rob. Look at this fat boy. But he does his own thing. You know, he doesn't bother anybody. Where are you gonna wear this? You look like a big grape. Look guy. He's got all this and he pushes me in the little corner and gave me like 3 hangers. That's all I have.
I live with Damon, Caucasian male. He's one of the neatest persons I've ever lived with. And I treat myself very well. I like nice things, fine wine, great steaks, great dinners, and my hobby is golf, and his hobby is rifles and ammunition.
See, you missed this, though. Look at this. Right here. They were in the room together before I got here, and then Cowboy moved out and got his own room. But Rob printed this out for him.
They're just great people.
It's a new day at the bridge, and Tom discusses the details of an upcoming inspection.
All right, Maricon.
And Thursday, touch up on the truss span.
Thursday, do what?
Touch up on the drops on the truss span.
Touch up? What are you talking about?
Those fucking spots you missed on the diagonals on the truss span, span 3 to 6.
That shit's done, my man. That shit's done. You guys signed off on that shit.
No, we did
not. Yeah.
Well, that's our daily argument, inspections. There's a spec that we have to follow, and we're told do the right thing the first time is cheaper than try to sneak anything away. But there's always a fight.
It's normal. It's normal. Like waiting for for paint. That's it.
The inspection's always tough. I mean, you always worry. For me personally, it's like trying to know if you're doing the right thing. But I'm looking at it from not just an inspection standpoint as to where I was trained, but like a contractor standpoint. It's like, all right, that's not too bad. Like, I'll mark this. Like, that should be touched up a little bit. But it's just like, how much time we got? What do we need to do? You're walking a line there.
After we blast, the inspectors come in. They're going to check the profile, which is the depth of your sandblast. They're going to check with their black lights to see if there's any oil or to see if you missed any old paint anywhere. Then we go on to the painting aspect of it.
Once the inspectors approve the blasted surface, the painters can begin coating the steel with primer. It's finally time to paint.
That's what I wanted to do to start with, just sweep blast it all off, epoxy polyurethane. You're talking about what that paint's supposed to do. It's the equivalent of about 6 to 8 pieces of paper put together, and that's going to protect that bridge for 15 years from the environment. Normally, somewhere around that 10-year window, you want to go up, you want to look at what's been damaged, what areas might not have been hit as well, if there are crevices where it's weeping out. Kind of get ahead of that corrosion, and then you can put a dress coat, a top coat on, and stretch it out to your next cycle. What you don't want to do is keep approaching it as a maintenance item where you're piling on coatings and coatings, because then you accelerate the failure. At some point you want to take it back and start over. There are 3 coats in most paint systems, and I'd say that they kind of all do 3 different things.
The zinc gives it like a cathodic protection, which it actually will sacrifice itself. Then, of course, we protect it with an epoxy coating, which is also a good primer, a good coating. And then we top coat it with a urethane, which provides the ultraviolet, so the coatings won't break down with the sun beating down on it.
It's a process. Our crew went from do the sandblasting and primer, and then we came behind doing the mid coat and final coat.
Well, Miguel is a hard-working man, and he keeps his guys busy, and I try to do the same as well. So, he's a team. He's a group of guys that they know what's got to get done, and we try the best we can.
I know how to paint.
In the heat of the summer, when it's 90 degrees outside, it's 125 in your containment, and you have on 3 layers of clothes.
A lot of chemicals around. There's a lot of cuss words coming out too.
What really bothers me is getting sprayed with the paint line. And I've actually seen a couple people get injected with paint, and pretty much that's your career right there usually. Or if it's only in your finger, they just chop your finger off. But if it's like hits you in the arm or the leg, you have, it gets infected and gangrene, and it's pretty bad.
When I started in this trade close to 40 years ago, it was very different. There was no containment to protect the environment. Safety was an afterthought.
As far as safety, there was none. You would never get a harness, and if you did, you would get a belt. It was about 4 inches wide.
We had a safety belt on, and that was it.
And if you fell, you break your back in half, so might as well die if you fall down.
They are illegal now. We all use harnesses now, and it's constantly 100% pickup.
It was totally different. There was no platform. Anywhere you went, you climbed the bridge. You will hold down with one hand and you were painting with the other.
Yeah, it's a better work environment, it's safer.
And we've evolved to where we are today, where it's contained to protect the environment. Our members undergo a lot of health and safety training to ensure their own safety and protection. It has become highly technical.
It's a hard job, but you're on call 24 hours a day. You don't know when you're leaving, you don't know when you're coming. That's probably the hardest part. Like, we don't know if we're gonna work Sunday. My wife asked me 10 times, I don't know. And they're gonna let us know Saturday night.
In many cases, these guys are away from their families for periods of time to get this work done. And it's work that once it starts, because of traffic issues and stuff, it has to go full time. These guys may work every day for 100, 150 days and without a day off.
You're consumed. The old guys will tell you that in order to make it in that industry, you have to be married to the bridge. That's the saying.
So yeah, I've seen a lot of turmoil. I've seen a lot of marriages that have gone awry because of this industry, this life that we lead.
I want to go home,
Well, my guys did a lot of work on my paintings. We did a lot of the paint today. And finally done for today.
Come on, man. Like this. Strong guy. He's employee of the day today. Hold on, man. It's a good day. Who likes to party?
I do not like being out of town. I've done it for too long. I'm getting too old for this shit. You know what I mean?
One thing I'm satisfied is when I know everybody went home safe, because I've seen a lot of accidents in this industry, and there's been a lot of people that didn't make it home, and that's
Damon gets a couple nights off to return to his house and family. They live about 2 hours away in New Jersey.
Almost home. It's been a long ride, long day, long week. Closer I get more excited. I really miss my wife and my kids, and especially my wife. Need to get a little action. It's been a long time.
Hey! Daddy! Oh,
I think you got bigger. No, you didn't. Just cuter. No. Aw.
Daddy.
Oh, you made me presents, bud. Oh, cute, huh? Oh, you all right?
Yeah.
Come on in. Oh, wow, here she is.
Hi.
Gosh. She always greets me like this.
When I'm out of town, I don't really worry about what's going on at the house, because I know Kim's taking care of everything.
All right. There's the brownies. They're slaving away in the kitchen, correct?
Yes, honey.
Yeah. I get this treatment every time I come home, for the first day, and after that I'm eating cereal. Oh no.
It's nice to have him home, and I love the way he interacts with our kids. But then sometimes that makes me sad too, because he is such a good dad. As much as he doesn't have anything to give around the house as far as cleaning, cooking, things like that, that's my role, and we've always known that. But he is so good with the boys. He's such a hands-on dad that I wish that he could be here more to experience that with them.
I really miss you, babe.
Yeah.
I'm sure you do.
I did.
Yeah, I miss you too.
I'm very happy to have her, and it actually makes my life easier. All I have to do is worry about work, and she handles everything else, so, it's good to have a good woman behind you. Sometimes I feel like it's easier for me to be at work than to be here, because there's so many things that are happening over here that I don't know how she does it.
Yeah, I'd like him to be home more for the boys. I mean, I'm a big girl, so I'd, pull up my bootstraps and put on a smile and make the best of it. And you kind of get in your own routine, you get in your schedule. Everybody's dealt with different cards in their life, so you know what you have to deal with, and I know that this is our life.
Which one do you need?
I need my pants, my husband's not.
Ooh, look at that.
Let's not do that on camera right now, okay? Oh, no, don't do that.
What is this?
Is that a dog treat? No, get out of here.
What happened? Oh my God, you better watch. I come home and I see things crazy, and I'm like, maybe I should go back to work. It's a lot easier over there. So I know she works hard, and that's why we make a good team, you know? I go to work and she handles everything else.
It's me doing everything on my own, and it's been like that since we've been together for 15 years. I don't rely on him for anything. If he says he's not going to be home, then he's not going to be home, and that's it. I just have to move on and go through my normal life and just keep taking care of the kids and doing everything I would normally do just without him. So it can be hard. He would walk in the door and I would be so mad at him, like, because he would walk in and not offer to help or do anything. He'd take a shower, go sit down, he'd want dinner, his lunch made the next day, and I was trying to take care of these 3 little kids and I was exhausted. But then he'd take it out of the shower and sit down, and I'd look at him and I'm gonna cry actually, but he really had nothing more to give. So I know that he was so tired and he was working so hard that he really had nothing more that he could give us.
When I'm not home and I miss the activities with the kids, the soccers, the school performances, I get sad because you're not going to get those days back.
I feel bad for the boys though, and they're happy, great kids, and they're well adjusted. But, you know, I'm sure that it hurts them at some point when they're at, you know, having their soccer game and daddy's not home that weekend, or their concert at school and daddy's not there, you know. They know that daddy's not going to be home till Sunday. But then on Sunday, he's going to spend the whole day with you and it's going to be amazing.
You know what? I don't really cry. Sometimes I guess I tear up a little bit, but I've seen so many bad things that I'm kind of numb. I've seen people die, I've seen people get smashed, you know, crazy stuff just from this job. And, you know, I don't know why I'm not affected by it. So I've seen a lot of injuries. I've been hurt. I was underneath the sandblast machine. The hose blew and I hurt myself, got blasted. I think I was in the hospital for a week. And, you know, that was hard. My wife, she had to drive up to see me in the hospital, and she was actually taking care of me. She had to change my bandages, and I couldn't take a shower for like a week. So she'd give me a sponge bath, and even when I felt better, I was acting like I was still hurt, so I'd get the sponge bath. And she finally figured it out, and gosh, she was mad. I stretched that out like an extra month. So that was, and you know, I just seen so many bad things that, like, you know, recently when I did tear up, I put my dog down. That was actually pretty hard. You know, I brought him to the vet, and I actually held his hand while he died. So that made me a little sad.
You know, sometimes I think, how can you do this day after day after day? But he, you know, he does it, and I think what drives him is his family. You know, he wants good for the kids and his wife.
My boy.
All right. It's a frightening job. You know, I worry every day about him. Every day. You know, is he all right? And you know, I hope nothing happened. But he's smart, and it's one thing that makes me feel better. He's not taking stupid chances. He doesn't do stupid things. And when he works, he's all there, mentally and physically.
Daddy, can you come jump with us?
Oh, really? You want me to jump some more?
Yeah.
You're gonna wear me out, bud.
Damon comes home, the whole house brightens up. I mean, the kids get to see their dad, I get to see my son. It's basically what I live for.
That one's gonna catch something. That one looks good. All right, guys, I want to fish. Fishy, fishy, fishy. Let me help you out, bud. Oh my God. Whoa, what happened? There you go. We've caught a lot of fish over here. Yeah, nothing on that one. That's Justin. Wait, I'm missing a kid. I'm missing one kid.
I feel bad for the kids. You want to see your dad a little bit, and then your dad's gone. You know, so it would be very, very nice if it changed. It would be nice, but it's kind of, I know it is what it is.
The bridge takes a lot of my time, and you know, it's good to be home, but I'm already thinking all the stuff I have to do. It's hard for the wife, it's hard for the kids, but gotta pay the bills. Could be worse. The big thing right now, the Powerball is 180 million, so we're all putting in money. That's my only hope, get out of this place. Gotta win the lottery.
In South Philadelphia, early morning commuters begin their travels across the Walt Whitman Bridge. Meanwhile, down below, bridge painters arrive to the job site. It's another day for the crew, working to restore an important transportation structure that connects Pennsylvania and New Jersey.
All right, showtime. This is over with.
Damon and the crew head out in a convoy of vehicles. They will be placing orange cones on the bridge to close down a lane in order to have space to perform restoration work on the bridge.
The people driving right now, they just woke up and they're half asleep and they're trying to get to work and they're in their routine, they're not paying attention, or they've been out all night partying, you know? So it's, this early in the morning, you don't know what you're gonna get. Right there, people honking already. I've had people throw bottles at me, you know, bags of trash out the window. Nobody likes to be inconvenienced. I don't like to slow down either at construction zones. So, I mean, I've had truck mirrors hit me in the arm. You know, crazy stuff. These guys, they don't stop. This where it gets a little bit tight. We got a big semi coming up. We're gonna pass a couple of inches on them. So these bridges are so narrow. That's what makes it dangerous for us. Look at this guy. Yay. That was close.
Damon is driving one of two crash trucks, both in the rear of the convoy. These trucks have bumpers on the back to absorb any vehicle impacts that may occur. Crash trucks protect the crew members on the cone truck, who are placing rubber cones onto the road to block off a lane of the bridge. Crew members Daniel and Eddie place the cones.
I wanna rock and roll all night and party every day. Get some cones, stop singing. Huh? Get some cones and stop singing. You be hating on my voice. I'm the next American Idol, remember that. This bridge paint don't work out, I'll be singing. And on top of it, your girl will be my biggest fan.
No Anthony either, right? What? No Anthony?
Oh, the Italian kid now?
Yeah, the apprentice. Who else is MIA?
Sid? No Sid. No, he's here.
No, Bob's here.
Oh, Bob. Jeremy's not here. Sid. Jeremy and Sid.
Beto's not coming.
Today we had two crews a deck.
No Beto, no Anthony, no Jeremy. Who else?
Sydney.
Sydney's not coming.
No Sydney, that's it. That's all we're missing?
I know.
Anthony is superintendent of the restoration work at the Walt Whitman Bridge. He's been working in the bridge painting industry for nearly 20 years.
One of my biggest fears here would be having somebody I'm close with, which I'm pretty close to everybody working here, is having somebody pass away or die on this bridge here. You get very close to these people that you're working with. You're working with them, like I said, 16 hours out of a 24-hour day. You're with these guys more than with your family, and I'm only 15 minutes away, and I'm with these guys more than I'm with my own family, and I'm 15 minutes away from home. So it'd be really devastating to see something happen to one of these guys because they're like your family members.
Anthony manages the crew
Hey, Milty.
and makes sure that work progresses on schedule for the $56 million project which includes sandblasting and repainting the suspension span and towers of the bridge. The project will take 2 years to complete.
I drink a protein shake in the morning, every morning. Then I have a nice light lunch and then another protein shake for dinner. That's it. It's all day, every day. Lost 56 pounds, 4 months. Want to see my legs?
He wants to get in shape so nobody will call him tight pants anymore.
Please. Is that a tight pants? Oh, you got your car hard on today. Can't tell you tight pants today. Oh, God.
Anthony and bridge foreman Alex oversee the crew.
Easy job just turned into a fucked up job. We're trying to get out of here and they're getting everything off the bridge. They took all the tools we needed, so now we're scrambling for tools just to get out of here on time. So a little crazy, but something always happens.
This don't fit. The builder. Whatever you want. Yes, you can. This side I'm fit. Did you bring the nut with you so you can find what size? This is the size we need, but it don't fit here.
Take this. I thought we were going home early today.
Let's go home this right now.
You don't have a 3/8 ratchet? Where's your 3/8 ratchet?
No, that tool set was complete yesterday. That's all I can tell you.
It's coming now. Don't worry. It's coming.
Pronounce your real name for me.
They made a nickname.
No, I don't want your nickname. Yeah, but your nickname I can't even pronounce. Your nickname is Pagadero, correct?
Yeah.
And that's too hard.
And
then we shortened your nickname to what?
Paco.
Paco.
My real name is Rogerio.
Rogerio.
Yes, sir.
The bridge crew installs railing cables on the side of the bridge for their safety. The freezing temperatures make the job even more difficult, so it's time for a coffee break.
Nice and warm. It's not crazy.
Took 1 week off my life.
Sorry. It's good stuff, man.
Meanwhile, the bridge crew at Commodore Barry have finished their blasting and painting ahead of schedule.
Talk to me. I have to go to the office now.
Superintendent Tom is proud of his crew, but there's still cleaning up to be done. The bridge crew removes wooden boards that make up part of the containment. The entire setup must now come down.
We're just dropping the containment, cleaning as much as we can, whatever you can do. See if we can touch up some of the spots that we missed.
Whenever I finish a bridge, there's a great sense of accomplishment. Every time I drive over this bridge, I'm going to say I worked on it, I painted it. Okay, brag about it. Like I said before, I'm contributing to the industry, and I really love it.
After the crew finishes cleaning up and removing debris and machinery from the Commodore Barry work area, many of the workers will transfer to the Walt Whitman Bridge for employment.
I thought we had this conversation. Yeah.
Came to say goodbye to you.
Now with those windows down, put the windows up, I'll shake your hand.
Come here.
No, hell no, I'm scared of dogs. I was a
Scared?
when I was little, yeah.
They're good dogs.
Yeah, that's what the dogs are. Make a face. Watch that dog jump out now because I'm gonna shake his hand.
Bridge worker Joe Kelly is leaving the crew. Joe has taken an office job with the union.
Shy and Sasha.
Shy? Look at that. See that? He's not scared of dogs. I would never put my hand there.
That's because you don't own a dog. They're good dogs.
I'm gonna miss the work, miss the guys, miss the excitement. I'm not gonna miss the hard labor or the hot days or the cold days or the wet days. I'm not gonna miss that, but I am gonna miss the environment, just everybody here.
So don't forget about us when you're doing your office job.
Never forget you guys.
Okay?
I'll stop down and visit us.
Better.
From time to time. I feel like I'm like leaving.
Leaving? Oh,
leaving my family or something.
Yo, bro. Yo, good luck with that. Congratulations and everything,
Man, the store's right here.
What?
Let's go.
I ain't going now.
See you later.
Before we go to your
That's me, Joe.
It's morning in New Jersey. The sun rises, shining on the Walt Whitman Bridge. As crew members climb up the bridge, there's a surprise waiting for them. Crew members guess that someone threw the cat from their car and it landed on the bridge superstructure.
Where we found the cat at, it was like a bird could go there. Absolutely, I was surprised. I don't know how anything without wings gets there. We brought it down here. It's in our office now, which I'm not crazy about, but it looks like we're gonna get it to the vet, make sure it's healthy, and one of the guys is gonna take it home. Like I said, I'm not a cat person, but you can't just let the animal sit there and starve to death. Now, everyone's a real tough guy, and then when you seen the starving cat sitting out in the corner, you seen, you know, it was heartfelt. Some of these guys felt bad, and we made sure to get it down as soon as we could. I mean, we went and got it ourselves. So, yeah, everyone's a tough guy, but everyone has a heart. It's down now, it's safe. Looks happy, I guess. We saved the cat on the Walt Whitman Bridge.
When it comes to animals, I'm a big softie. Winded up adopting it. Took it home last night. It's a girl, nice little cat. My son named her Belle, I believe. And it's cool. It's nice. Other flavors.
I'm telling you, you guys made out.
He gets these.
That's that.
Yeah, that's that.
We're gonna lose. That's a douche flute, right?
I'm trying to get rid of the flavor.
What are you giving it to me for?
Because I can't handle it.
That tastes like shit, man.
That's easy.
You think I got a problem?
It's really good now.
More cables. They get out of my face.
I'm not even here. What? I'm like a fly on the wall. Isn't that what those guys said?
Everyone else in this office stresses me out. You know, just when things don't go your way, and nothing ever goes your way all the time, but one of them's gonna tend to get on your nerves once in a while. Just anything. Weather could get on your nerves pretty bad. You get a week of rain, it messes up your schedule, and I have to do a lot more work now to try to make up for what we lost. Oh God, I take a lot of phone calls a day. I 50 to 100 phone calls a day, every day. Hey.
What's the last one that you had?
Getting no response. He's acting like he's busy right now.
Yeah, over there, right by the bridge.
I do all the purchasing, I do all the dealing with authorities. I'm the guy that everyone calls.
My phone still will not stop ringing. Jeez.
Hello?
Yo,
Me and Mike Hostel go way back. I believe I met Mike Hostel, project manager, back in 2000, I believe it was, on the Verrazano Bridge.
I've known him for, God, 15 years now. We've been working together off and on.
He was like an apprentice. He knew nothing at all.
We always had a close relationship ever since, day one. Me and him just clicked.
He used to mix paint for me and clean buckets for me. Mike Hostel used to come to me and ask me if the bucket was clean enough inside.
We give each other a lot of, a lot of problems. Not problems, but we bother each other a lot.
Hostel would come to me and say, hey, is this bucket clean enough? And I used to tell him, no, clean it more. So Hostel went from being my bitch to now I'm being his bitch. So tables are always turning here.
He's the guy that I'm trusting with the job.
Yo, I'm busy.
Why do you give me your voice? That's your voice.
That's not my voice.
That's your voice. Why do you do that voice for me? That is the voice that we picked for you.
That's not my
That's
voice.
been your voice for 15 years now. He was a foreman, but he was always complaining, he bitching about all kinds of stuff. So, the nickname Bitch, that's what he got. From complaining all the time, he's now Bitch. And, if anyone on the radio or on the phone hears Bitch, they know who we're talking about. That's Anthony. And, he's owned it. But how do you answer to Bitch? I would never answer if someone was calling me Bitch. Hey, Bitch.
Must be calling somebody else.
Why do I go to my office and I gotta hear that you guys are down here talking shit about me?
Hostile.
What?
I'm not.
What?
Look at it. I think the only time you're such an asshole. You make me laugh.
Look what I gotta deal with fucking 90 people.
You gotta deal with rednecks.
I gotta deal with rednecks. I gotta deal with fucking bitches.
No, always say, hey, let me tell you something.
What's wrong?
Let me tell you something. The only time that you're not an asshole and you're smiling and happy is when I'm around. And also tell them, who's the best looking one here?
Me, for sure.
Oh, here we go. Well, there's some people that actually deny that.
Who?
That's all. You might
Just
see
you and
that.
Andre.
No, not just me and Andre. There's other people that agree that, you're actually number 3.
Who's number 1?
Me. It's actually a tie between me and Andre.
I was born into it, I guess. Everyone in my family is a bridge painter, bridge painting companies. The whole family's here, even on this job. I got my little brother, I got an uncle, I got a stepfather. They're all here. Family business.
You could see where the platform, when they did the repairs, Alex wants to have it a little bit higher than the elevation of the marks that are showing right now.
Steve, Alex, and Mike discuss building additional platforms with engineer Scott Silberman. All bridge painting projects must have an experienced engineer who's created specific plans for the weight and design of the containment rigging and platforms.
All right, look, that's not a problem. There's so much steel up here that we can grab, and it's significant steel, so it shouldn't be an issue if we have to run cables. We can run the cables over the top of that top strut of this floor truss system over here, and we can run the cables on the outside.
We only need to access this side and that side. So we're going to put a strip of fence over here, strip of fence over there.
I got to check the existing structure to make sure that it can take the loads that we're putting on it from the containment as well as the men. What they got to do is they got to clean the underside of that box, they got to clean the top of the box, and they have to get inside the box. So we got to put a platform at the right height so the guy can do all that work from one access point. If you have to put multiple access points, well, that costs more money, more time, and time is your enemy on jobs like this.
Bridge painters have begun blasting and painting inside the Walt Whitman Bridge Tower on the New Jersey side of the bridge. Inside the tower, a bridge painter's surroundings seem more like a tomb than a place for bridge work. Except for flashlights, the environment is pitch black. The sound of traffic reverberates through the steel.
I don't like to stop. I just go ahead in the morning, take one break, and then keep going.
you might be really tired, and then you don't feel it until you almost done spraying the last few, squares on beans. That's when you feel tired, really.
Once the blasters have removed the old interior coatings inside the tower and inspectors have approved their blast, steel painting finally begins. Crew members spray primer from the tips of their paint guns. Bridge painters emerge from the innards of the tower. They are covered in dirt. It's nice to see daylight again. Cleaning up is essential for the bridge crew's health. The guys need to remove any lead dust or paint chips from their hands and face to ward off potential medical problems like anemia, weakness, or kidney and brain damage. Then it's time for lunch.
Michael hit Anthony's truck in the other yard. Hello? He's not gonna find out about it. Look at him, look at him.
Who the hell stole my truck, goddammit? Oh, I'm looking for my goddamn truck that somebody took. Eh? Who stole my truck? Where's my truck?
Those are for the pipe scaffold. Those are anchors.
I'm gonna kick somebody in. I'm gonna start taking the fucking keys out.
What?
My truck is gone.
Where the fuck did you put it?
Right here.
No one was here. Manoli and Milty took Manoli's truck. So I took his truck and I hid it in our other yard. See how long he sits here and searches for it. Probably a long time. He really loves being in his truck, so it's gonna bother him a lot today. See how long it takes to find it. You gotta make sure they work, because these things are expired.
The crew has begun constructing pipe scaffolding around the Walt Whitman Tower on the New Jersey side of the bridge. Thousands of pieces of scaffolding are assembled around the massive structure.
Pipe scaffolding going around the tower is a monster. It's a different beast. There's a lot of guys that have been doing this business for years, maybe 20, 30 years, that can't do that job. We're building pipe scaffolding around the tower so that we can close the tower with tarps so that we can blast and paint the exterior of the towers.
When we get the parts up there, first we got one guy to take it off the rope, and then we gotta take it and walk around the boards, and we gotta go around, get ready for the next one, so we keep building it up and keep moving.
Once they start getting up there, they're 300 feet up in the air, and you're walking on little planks. They're walking on just 2 little planks, carrying heavy poles and stuff like that. It's a different animal. People have no idea what it's like. Most people in this world couldn't do that. Yesterday was calling for a 50% chance of rain. It was drizzling first thing in the morning, so right away we knew that we couldn't build pipe scaffolding around the tower. You can't build a pipe scaffolding around the tower when it's raining out. It's way too slippery for the guys and it's too dangerous. You put the guys' lives in danger trying to work up there, so they can't do that.
They were up top. They said, "Hey, Danny, listen, this guy over here is telling me that Nick on the other side is pulling 4, 5, 8-footers at the same time." I said, "There's no way." He said, "Nick was like half my size." I was like, "Those pipes would probably pull him up." So I did it for a few times. I was actually, I was able to do it. And then I was talking to one of the guys that was working on the other side. I'm like, "Yo, how do you guys do it?" I was like, "This thing's killing me. Like, I've been doing it for a little bit, but it's killing me." He's like, "No, we never pulled more than 2 at a time. What are you talking about?" So that was it was pretty funny after I figured that out.
It's moving good. It's moving good. Building the scaffolding, you're building all this skeleton for this tower just to put your containment on it. The only purpose of it is to attach tarps to it.
Nobody wants to be behind, because once you get down here and the boss come and say, "Why you guys are behind of the other ones?" Nobody want to hear that. Same time that we say it's not a competition, everybody's trying to work the same, but deep inside, everybody got a little bit of it.
One little pin, those things are like really small, but I guess because it came from so high, it ended up falling on my hand and everything started to swell up real quick. I mean, for a moment my hand was about twice the size of this one, but now it's getting back normal. I put some ice on it. I mean, from past experience, I had a shackle fall on the hard hat and it tipped the hard hat and ended up hitting me on the lip, pushed all my teeth in, and that was something different. My wife gets on my case. Said, "Why are you still doing this job? Be doing something else." At the end of the day, I do enjoy my job. I like doing what I'm doing, so I like working with my hands and something physical. I've had jobs where I sit in the office, just not for me.
With the tower scaffolding now reaching the roadway, it's time for the crew to install a platform to protect traffic from any debris that may fall from the tower above. This platform is called the roadway shield. To install this shield, the bridge crew works at night when traffic is at a minimum. Police close the road for 20-minute intervals while the crew runs cabling across the lanes. To make the job even more difficult, they have to work in the rain. The guys work as fast as possible to rig the cabling. Once the cables are secured, chain fencing is rolled and fastened onto the cables. This fencing will serve as the protective barrier. Wet and tired, the crew has successfully installed the roadway shield. With the roadway shield installed, the bridge crew finishes the pipe scaffolding all the way to the top of the tower. Berto oversees his crew, who are finishing up some last-minute rigging.
I love it. That's my world up there. Oh, I feel free. I work better up there. I always feel better on top, on the high, than on the ground.
Working from 400 feet in the air gives you a bird's-eye view of Philadelphia and the surrounding area.
Good, boys. Corner first, Damon.
Perfect Saturday morning.
Right.
Paradise.
The corner. Starting on the corner. Mesmo adianta. Hey. Today, we're gonna start here, gonna go all the way. We're gonna wrap the whole thing today.
With the scaffolding complete, the bridge crew installs specialized tarps to wrap the tower. The guys drop the tarps from the top down, fastening them as they go.
Damon, ready? Everybody, put your hands on, top's coming down. I always feel that I could get something else done, a little bit more. But that's me, that's personal. I feel good when I see something we're moving. Once we're moving, we figure out the way to get faster and faster. Every day is like you want to get a little more than the day before. Somebody got to put a hand on the freaking tarp so I don't have all the weight on me. I need to flip this thing so I can find the edge, but nobody hold the freaking thing.
Once the tarps have completely wrapped the tower and the containment is complete, the crew can begin blasting and painting the exterior of the tower. All of this work will have to be repeated on the opposite tower across the river.
It's a whole different world when you're here, and then when you get in the car and you drive home, everything just shuts off. One of my things that I like about this job is that I don't have to take it home with me.
I pretty much work all the time. There's not much else.
As far as making everyone happy, I'm giving them a job. I mean, that's what it is. It's a job. Nobody's always happy at work, right?
I got
one kid finishing college right now and one just started. As soon as she's done, I'm done too. I'm building my vacation house on a little island in Greece. That's it.
I don't know how these older guys do it. You know, I'm getting up there now. So I'm already starting to feel it. I think Rob's like 45, 50, or he won't tell his age like a girl, but he's getting up there.
Yeah, I wish I was 10 years younger so I could hang out with the guys a little longer, but, you know, getting older. Getting older.
A bridge painter's job never ends. There's always another bridge to restore. Even these two bridges, the Walt Whitman and Commodore Barry, will eventually have to be repainted in the future. For these men and women, it's just another day on the job. But their work is crucial for the maintenance of America's infrastructure. The crew relies on each other, and drivers, while they may not know it, rely on this crew. Yet it's a thankless job. So many motorists who use these bridges take the structures for granted. And a majority of the bridge painters' families have never seen the crew members at work. After all, because of security clearances and safety concerns, it's not exactly a job where you can easily bring your family to the office. While these bridge painters may fade into history unrecognized, their legacy will be immortalized within these iconic landmarks still standing across America.